Call the meeting to order at 7:06 and record these members absent and those present.
Reed.
Yeah, here.
Rivera. Here. Morris.
Yes.
Bowler.
Here.
Jessup.
Here. Item 2, administer oath of office to the new board member, Lynn Bowler, for seat number 5.
I gotta stand up and read this.
Oh, yeah.
I, Lynn Bowler, here declare under oath that I will faithfully perform the duties of the school board member of Freedom Public Schools to the best of my ability, and that I will faithfully discharge all of my duties pertaining to said office and obey the Constitution of the law of the United States of Oklahoma and Oklahoma. And
Okay, you're in now.
I'm not letting you out.
Now you get to be president on this next item.
I'll leave.
Item 3 is board to consider and possible vote to reorganize. Would you really leave? Any motions?
The motion will stay the same.
Can't do that.
I know. Make a motion, Joe stays as president.
I second.
Any other motion? Did that work, Bowler?
That ganged up on you.
That happens pretty regular.
Gotta be quick around here.
Thanks, Cindy. No other motions? I guess vote on that.
Yes. Herrera.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Bowler.
Yes.
Jessup.
Too late now. Yes, yes. About the vice chair. It's a Shane, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't matter to me. They're all the seat, just,
I make a motion that Shane becomes president.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Reed. Yes. Herrera.
Yes.
Morris.
yes.
So if you ever get
Bowler.
poisoned like a show dog did, you'll know it was Morris that did it.
Jessup.
Yes.
What's the next one? Secretary or
What do we call
treasurer?
that?
Clerk.
Treasurer?
Clerk?
Clerk?
Board clerk?
I make a motion Concho retains clerk duties.
Second?
At least think about it.
Nope. We don't need to make a new stamp.
We get a smaller stamp.
Yeah.
Stay with your ridiculous.
Yeah, thanks.
Either that or bigger checks.
Probably
Get
bigger
the
checks.
cardboard checks.
That's right.
All
That way you
those-
can, everybody see.
All those in favor?
Reed.
Yes. Herrera.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Bowler.
Yes.
Jessup.
Yes. And that's it, right? Item 4 is the consent agenda. The following items of routine nature normally approved at board meetings will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. Consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and approval of the following items. A, minutes of the February 9th, 2015 regular meeting. B, activity fund expenditures. C, approving encumbrances for and signing warrants of A, general fund, B, building fund, C, child nutrition fund.
If I told you, I'd be guessing. didn't have to do as much as he thought he was gonna have to do to it. He didn't have. I told you I'd be guessing right now.
Was it in the differential?
Yes, but I think he had to replace some gears in it. But
Spider gears or something?
But it wasn't as much as he thought when he got in there. When he first looked at it, he told me it'd be about 3,000. But when he did it, he called me and he said he didn't need to replace what he thought he was gonna have to do, and that's what it was.
Good.
And did he fax copy that invoice yet? Okay. They just got it the other day. Tricia was gone to her in-service, and we know that's what it is because they copied the amount of it.
What was their blaming
But
that on?
we don't have the
It was full of oil. Well, you know, I mean, I looked at it, I just didn't, I couldn't get in the door, and everything looked good, I don't know. It just,
Usually don't happen.
if any of them are gonna have a rear end problem, it will be a Chevrolet though. They just, and it's probably that's probably got a limited slip in there, and if any of them come apart, those are the ones that come apart. You know, that's where they mess up at. But,
and about 140,000. So if they're gonna have a problem, that's about
Yeah.
the right time to start having problems with it.
yeah, I mean, they generally, most of them don't, but I don't think that was anybody's, you know, it just,
I've seen them run without oil for a long time.
yeah.
Some faulty component.
Yeah. 'Cause it was full.
Any other discussion on the consent agenda?
I don't have anything on here, do I?
I don't recall you.
Okay. I've looked through it 3 or 4 times and I never seen it.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Reed,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Fuller,
Yes.
Jessup.
Item 5, the superintendent and principal's report.
Okay. As of late this afternoon, and then as of just a little bit ago, the Oklahoma Tax Commission looks like they're gonna be later than they were last month in posting the deposit letters for gross production, REA, and vehicle tag. So I don't have those numbers tonight as I normally do for comparisons. I know last month they posted them on the 9th of February. Looks like they're gonna be later this month, so, what I do have is I can tell you on a cash flow basis, using their zero-based budgeting. Right now, the district's operating on a positive cash flow of $756.11 for the school year. We're still looking to collect our second half of our ad valorem collections come. Of course, we've got our carryover sitting there. So, you know, I don't print out that big long spreadsheet that I use when I'm looking at when I'm doing my budgeting, because my expenditure side is about 15 pages long in itself, but I do zero-based budgeting, start out the school year, take carryover, or cash on hand, set aside, operate just, you know, where we're at on this year on a cash flow basis. Right now, we actually have all our expenditures through the 9th of March in on top of February's expenditures. So actually, our expenditures are a little higher than what they'd normally be, but anyway, that's where we're at for the year. But like I said, we still have second half ad valorem come in, which would be the second half of everything the mortgage companies are holding, because they're not going to pay their ad valorem taxes early. Well, they sure don't do it anywhere else. I just don't think they're going to do it early in Woods County, even as cheap as interest rates are. District underwent our annual accreditation audit right here at the end of February, 1st March. Our RAO was here, And from the preliminary accreditation compliance review report, the district will receive no deficiencies. Hopefully, what we were discussing before the board meeting began, or what was being, let me rephrase that, what was being discussed before the board meeting began, as far as school board member points, surely they're going to be intelligent enough not to try to ding anyone on that, because that's their mess, not board members' mess. On the 13th of November, Mr. Weber was in Enid with 2 students, and as you're aware, as we reported, there was an accident. The other driver was cited in that accident. Mr. Weber was found not to have been at fault in the accident as per the police report. I've looked at the police report numerous times, and thus began my dealings with Safeco Insurance Company as I began trying to recoup the cost of repairs of the school vehicle, which were, by the way, $2,600. Not really a big deal. We got it repaired during Christmas break, so the ag pickup would be ready to go, because Christmas break going through this time of year is the busiest time of year for that vehicle up and down the road, and I didn't want, the part of it was loose, needed to be fixed. That's when it needed to be fixed. Never believing that it would be an issue. This is one of those situations where I think Safeco's decided that for $2,600 they can just cause enough problems that will go away. They don't know me very well. Finally, I got the point that I've got our school district attorney, Mr. Wilkinson, involved in it. And he was laughing at me because I was mad enough when I finally called him a couple of weeks ago. I told him that, and he said, well, you're exactly right. That's what they're doing. They're going to run around to the point that you'll just get frustrated, throw your hands up, and go away. And I don't do it. I don't care what it costs. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get his fees. I don't care if the president of Safeco is sitting in front of a jury in Alva, Oklahoma. I'm going to give him $2,600 back. This has gone on since he's began writing them letters to where they have written a check to the district for $2,068.43, $600 less than cost of repair of the district. And on that check, they cite 20% less comparative negligent offset. They're wanting us to take 20% less and sign that we were 20% negligent. The check's still sitting in the safe. We're not doing it. That's where we're at. I want to make sure you guys as a board are aware of this, because if you see the legal in the paper to where Freedom Public Schools is suing Safeco Insurance for auto negligence, you know where that's coming from. But I have been trying and dealing with them for over $2,600 in good faith since the 13th of November. And that's what this is going to be about. Okay? I've spoken to the police officer. Now, the driver ran a stop sign and hit our kids. Mr. Weber was not going fast. He almost had it stop. Vehicles collided at a speed that was not much more than just a little bit over a walking speed. But there it is. They could write a $2,600 check and we would have gone away. They chose not to. So if you see this, that's what we're dealing with. We have received word that Mrs. Smith Marlowe has received a state and national recognition through her volunteer work with the ambulance service. She'll be in Oklahoma City to be recognized on March the 30th through April 1st. And then we'll travel to Washington, D.C. on April the 12th through the 16th. I think the days of that activity is the 13th, the 14th, and 15th. She'll be traveling on the 12th and the 16th to receive her national recognition for the work she does for the community. I'd like to congratulate her on behalf of the school district for the work she does for the ambulance service. plenty of time.
We'll start off on mine. Recently, the State Department released their school designations for the 2014 year. Designations range from reward, NA, priority, focus, and targeted. So you can be listed as one of 5 designations. As a school, you will always wind up either as either reward or at the worst an NA. Reward sounds like it sounds. It's good. NA just means that you don't get a designation. You weren't great, but you weren't bad either. You know, NA, from what our RAO told us, an NA just means that you're doing some good things, and you probably just, need to improve a few things here or there, and just kind of build off of that. So those are the 2 designations you want to get. Last year we were designated as a reward school. Earlier last year, we lost the ESCA waiver in the state. You probably all remember that. We were talking a lot about losing our federal flexibility, having to go back under No Child Left Behind. So, as a state, we were worried about these redesignations they were talking about doing. They were rumored to start taking place under NCLB. They were estimating 80% or above schools would be put on the priority list, which is not a good thing, and or worse. They would have gone back and recalculated everything. No Child Left Behind, if you remember when Bush ran and around that platform, it was 100% or nothing, basically. So, long introduction to say that Freedom Elementary and High School not only were listed as a reward school, within the reward designation, there are 2 possible additional designations. You can either be a high progress reward school or high performance reward school. And once again, our students and teachers rose to the occasion last year, proving that we can outbest many of the large schools in the state, and we received a high performance designation. Express my pride in the job well done. Everyone involved had a hand in helping achieve that goal, and we look forward to another successful year this year. So, just, further confirmation that our teachers and our students do the job every day. In spite of everything, our margin for error at this school for, accountability is razor thin. If you got a class of 4 kids and one of your kids doesn't pass, you go from A to a C just like that. Larger schools don't have to worry about that. We do. So we rise above and we achieve. Last week, many of our students went to Woodward to participate in Northwest District Livestock Show. Many exhibitors had good days at the show, none more so than Miss Emma Reed, winning Reserve Grand Champion York Barra, qualifying for a premium auction last Thursday. She netted over $2,000. So congratulations to Emma. You'll have a lot of our 4-Hers and FFA members headed to the 100th anniversary of OYE this week and next week on spring break. So, I imagine that's going to be a big deal. They always give away free stuff all the time, so I'm sure this year it'll be in copious amounts. You have those?
I have one extra.
I've got this one.
If someone is thinking about heading down
Yeah.
for OYE and wants a stalling chart as far as where our students are in the barns,
Yeah.
there's a stalling chart for cattle, sheep, hogs, and goats.
Looks like pretty much we're going to be on the north end of the deal. Cattle are going to be in barn 4, swine are in barn 9. That's the north end of the alley down there. If you know, the state fair arena is on the south end. That north end is where all the big barns are, so we're going to be right down there. Cattle are in the same spot as we were last year. Swine are complete opposite end. So that'll be fun. We have a short week this week. Thursday, have parent-teacher conferences from 3:30 to 9:30. Hope to see everyone there Thursday if you need to sign up, because everybody's got kids on the board, and if you have somebody ask you, there's a sign up at Tana's office. She's got all the sign-ups in there. You can come in and sign up for a time. I think they're 15-minute time allotments, so should be plenty enough time. And or you can just give that with your child's teachers. This week, today we started our last round of Alpha Plus testing. We'll get our last little bits of information from our kids this year and use that to start setting up remediation until we start OCCTs April the 13th, when the first test will start hitting, and we will be done first week of May. We'll be finished up with our instruction testing. Go one more week and we'll be done. So that's I mean, it's coming quick. We're at, I think after today we're at 40 days of school left. So it's coming. Girls gold team. Yeah. Golf team. Golf.
We had enough to have gold and bronze.
The girls, that's the second time that's done it to me on my computer. Golf team will be heading to, yeah.
That's
Computer
black.
fault is,
Let me write that. I'm with you.
hey, look, yeah, you can look over there because it says we'll be heading to 3 golf tournaments, not gold tournaments. Which I wish we were going to.
How does that prove anything?
What
Yeah. It's
all up here. 3 golf tournaments, March 26th, March 31st, and April 1st. Going to Enid, Fort Cobb, Kingfisher, ahead of the qualifiers there, second or third week of April. It's going to be at Boiling Springs, so hopefully, we have some success and maybe we can qualify for regional at Boiling Springs. Lastly, girls basketball team received the Distinguished Academic Plaque from OSSAA for Class B girls basketball. Teams must have a minimum 3.5 GPA to rank in the upper 10% of their classification. Congratulations to girls and coaches. So I know Burlington girls won the state academic champions, and I think we weren't too far behind. But this other sheet that I passed out to you gives you the breakdown on the reward school guide on criteria, what you have to have to be high performance, high progress. The back side of that is the printout of our accreditation status for 2014 as a high performance school in both schools. So we received an A or A plus on our report card, and we were ranked at or above the 90th percentile in performance on the Oklahoma State testing. What's the P? OSDP. Oklahoma State testing.
I don't know what, I just
Whatever.
deal in acronyms.
OSDP assessments for 3 consecutive years. So we've done well, and I'm proud of them. Y'all should be too.
Item 6, board to consider and take possible action on the appointment of board member as legislative liaison representing the Free and Public Schools Board of Education for the OSSBA.
Was that your computer that caused that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that again.
I got something down here.
Not swallow my tongue. No. Shane, you're the current one, aren't you?
Yeah, I haven't got
Been pretty
nothing.
active.
I haven't got anything email-wise from them at all. Nothing in them, nothing other than my normal, than anything I've got through the mail is probably the same stuff you guys get for classes and stuff. I haven't got anything at all from the state.
Would be OSSBA.
Yeah.
So I get a
Hmm?
daily, I get a daily OSSBA update that day.
You get the email? All
I
the
don't-
different articles around the state.
I don't
Need to
get them
vote
at
for
all.
vote.
Yeah.
Contact your
And I've had the
representative.
same email address
Yeah,
for,
Action Now.
Say no to voucher.
Never have
Oh,
got them.
I did, when they first started this deal, when they first started that, I was the first one, I think, to do that, and I did that first probably 2 years, but I bet I haven't got an email from the OSSBA for 3 or 4 years. I get those deals in the mail, and I've been that liaison for a long time.
I don't
Something
get
you have to
anything in
sign
the
up
mail.
for, but
Maybe
they,
they're going in your junk mail folder automatically.
I
You can vote, I don't get the mail.
I don't think I got mine set up to do, you know what I mean? I've never, but I really haven't, I haven't got nothing from them at all.
They've got your email address.
Yeah.
and they will send, they should be sending you the same exact information they're sending me and other board members.
I check it every single morning.
I think you have to sign up for it though, don't you? You remember doing it?
I just went on and did my, on the website and did my seat, put my information in for that, and that's all I've ever done.
Did you ever check a box? Seemed like I checked the box.
I don't remember,
Long,
that
long
would have
time
been
ago.
a year ago.
We'll find out from Lynn.
I don't know.
I have no email address.
Yeah, you will.
You're gonna.
You do now.
That's my one, that's the only one I got. Well, I got the one on my phone and the one on my, at the shop. The one at the shop, the only one that I really give out for anything like that. Cause I can't read it on that thing anyway. Cause
Well, that, I mean, lets you participate in the meetings down there is about it.
you know,
Other than
Yes,
updates.
because, I mean, when they do their business meeting, I mean, that's the purpose of the legislative liaison, is to be the freedoms voting delegate in
yeah.
the business meeting.
Well, I mean, to get the stuff, I mean, I know you have, that's that deal on Sunday down there.
Probably just need to call Sean. Hi.
I'm just
You
telling
have-
him.
What's your email address?
Mine, obarauto@pld.net.
I wonder if you went and judged them.
OB,
I should
yeah.
have stored it.
Oh, dash bar or just O bar?
Nope, just Obar.
Excuse me.
And I went to that thing the last,
Is that what you have, Shane?
yeah,
I would have to look on the paper. I can't remember right offhand.
shit, that's the only one I remember. That's the one I,
It's spelled out like that, right?
obarauto@pl, yep, just like that, yep.
All right. Remind me to check tomorrow. We'll see. if we
Yeah, I always
track
have to
it down.
stay down there a day later than everybody else gets to come home, and I'm always have to stay the next day.
You're doing a good job.
Oh, good.
Anybody else want to run for that appointment?
Trust me, you gotta sit through that meeting.
Frustrating.
You can, well, I'm not gonna, you can actually feel brain cells leaving as you're listening to that. I'm not kidding, it's a joke.
Sounds like you're hired again.
Yeah. Oh, it'll get quoted here. I know.
I really like that one that you can actually feel brain cells leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might make the daily OSSBA
Yeah.
report.
Well, it should, because sitting in there and listening to them guys talk about matters that are, and then they wonder why we have the problems we have. You know.
Seen that one, and the computer always does that to me.
It does. I don't know how many times I've tried to spell golf and it comes out gold.
Well, yeah.
Who's smarter?
F and D are pretty close together.
I think Mr. Martin does some computer programming. Can that be possible that it's?
I would correct it.
I would do that
I hate
if
it on
you
the
guys
phone.
want me to.
We need to approve that, the vote. Suppose. I'm gonna make a motion to, or I guess I can make a motion that Shane retains that position. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Reed.
Yes, Herrera,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Jessup.
Yes. If he doesn't get kicked out by OSSBA.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's why they don't have your email.
That may be why they don't.
Slowly moving
Well,
you.
I have made comments down there in that deal, and they don't. I get lots of claps and laughs from around the people that are sitting near me, but the ones that's sitting on the desk, they don't ever like what I have to say. But
Then you're doing your job.
man,
Item 7, board to consider and vote to approve, disapprove, or take no action on approval of contract with municipal accounting systems for the upcoming fiscal year. SIF, B, grade book, C, lunchroom, D, appropriated funds, E, activity plans, F, personnel, for a total of $48,2544.
It's all of our software except for treasurer.
Make a motion to approve the contract with Mass.
I'll second.
Yes, we're happy with that.
I am.
Okay, Trish, take the vote.
Reed,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Jessup.
Yes. Item 8, the Board of Education to consider adoption of a resolution approving and affirming a lease purchase agreement and authorizing the execution of same, acknowledging assignment of lessor's interest in lease purchase agreement, designating lease transaction as a qualified tax exempt obligation, and authorizing school district officials to execute any and all necessary documents in connection with the aforementioned transactions. Oh, I feel smart.
That's a lease purchase on bus. Give me a copy of that.
You contacted them yet, or
Huh?
have you contacted the bus?
Yeah, uh-huh. It's in the process. You're getting ahead of me. That's the resolution. It's in. And the proceedings will be, there's 3 copies of everything. It's the lease purchase documents on that vehicle. Right there.
So you need a motion on the resolution?
Huh?
You need a motion on the resolution?
Yes. Adopt a resolution approving lease purchase agreement.
Is this the one that made Joe smarter?
Yes.
Okay, you guys.
Does that have the interest rate and all that stuff on it, what it is?
So they'll sell that. Maximum 150,000.
Any time they've ever went against the lowest interest rate of it.
No, they'll sell it to a bank. So they will. They'll take bids on it, just like you do on a bond issue. When you go out and you sell a bond, you take bids on a bond. They'll take bids on this, and because it's tax-free, and that's the reason why you have the wording is like it is, designating the lease transaction as a qualified tax exempt obligation. They can sell it for a lower interest rate because they're not going to have to pay taxes on any interest they get on it, so it'll bring a lower interest rate.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
That's the same wording and everything, just like did the ag pickup. And the same company.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Reed,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Jessup.
Yes. Item 9, board to consider and vote to approve, disapprove, or take no action to renew contract with OKTLE for certified staff evaluations for the 2015-2016 school term at a district cost of $27.50, 10% reduction for district membership in OROS 2475.
We have it as board policy that we'll join OROS, but we haven't joined OROS or paid our dues for next year. until the next fiscal year, so that's the reason I worded it like this. This is OKTLE is what we use for our what Mr. Hill uses for his evaluation instrument on the certified teachers. Like I said, the cost is $27.50 per certified staff member. Once we pay our OROS dues, excuse me, that will drop to $24.75. So that's the motion, is to renew the contract with OKTLE.
So you pay the $27.50? Or you pay
No,
the
we
20?
won't, I'm sorry. We'll renew the contract. The invoice will be let after the 1st of July. The invoice will be for
The
the
$24.75?
$24.75.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. That's what we paid last year, right? The $27.50?
yes. No, the 24. We're a member of OROS.
Oh, okay.
I haven't
All
gotten,
right.
I haven't gotten the opportunity to renew our membership in OROS.
And this is for next calendar
This
year.
is for next year, yes.
I was thinking that was
Okay,
a
I
lot
see.
more than that. Is there a motion on item 9?
Hang on. That is per certified staff member.
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes more sense.
Per
Not-
every
not-
teacher.
per every certified staff
Right.
member.
20, yeah. What is the OROS?
Oklahoma Rural,
Organization of schools?
Organization of Rural Oklahoma Schools.
And by being a member of OROS, you get the 10% discount
Yes,
from
they have a
OK.
lobbying arm. We have students who apply for oral scholarships and those types of things.
$297. $297 total.
Make a motion to renew the contract.
Second.
I apologize, I didn't put a total on that. I wrote it that way. It did make it look confusing.
All those in favor?
Reed,
Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Jessup.
Yes. Item 10 is new business.
I'll have any.
When is the guy gonna be ready to talk about the bond stuff?
And I had that printed off. Let's see, next Monday night and next Wednesday night, any other night next week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, the following week, that's spring break week. What nights are best for y'all?
Does this fall under new business, or do we close? Yeah.
Probably. We can discuss it under new business, because we're going to discuss trying to set up a time to meet with the architect. But I need what would be the most appropriate evening and times for everyone to meet. If there's any way I can meet before, I know it's gonna be tough for you.
I can make whatever we need to make, cause I'm done with all the I mean, all I'm doing is I'm at the shop, so anytime next
We
week,
have to do that on Monday.
I can make it work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we need to try to do anything till
I'm
spring
hoping
break.
not, but yeah.
Hmm.
I'm hoping not. Next week?
No,
Just anytime.
after
Um,
spring break.
After spring break?
Uh-huh.
I mean, is spring break next week?
Yes.
Mhm.
Prefer not Wednesday.
So 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th.
24th is Christian's birthday. Just so you know. I'll probably be busy that day.
Well, we won't have it then.
Or you can do his party or something
So
at
let's
Not,
school
repick.
and
not the
then,
24th.
well, we can do it the 24th, it's whenever. Just preferably Wednesday would not be. 'Cause
Not
right, Joe?
Wednesday, not
That's
the
God's
24th.
day.
What have you got coming up?
Hopefully nothing.
You gotta get your priorities right now.
No, we can't have it on 24th. You're gonna be busy on the 24th.
What's that?
Spring break?
That's
What
at
do we
Mold
have?
Sale,
23rd, isn't it?
It's on Monday. 23rd's a
it's on
Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Well, I put it in my calendar wrong.
Unless he's moved it, it's
I'll
always
be
a Monday.
done with that though at lunch. Or after, shortly after lunch.
How early for you ladies?
I can be here by 5:30.
I'm usually here by 6. Well, no, Lupe's gone right now, so I'm usually here 5:45 now. Sorry, he's gone. When he's with me, then I'm here a lot later.
6 p.m. All right. Not the 25th, not the 24th.
You can make it 24th.
6 p.m. or later. And not April the 1st. I am superstitious.
Me too. Well, that's a Wednesday though.
What we're talking about is having initial sit-down meeting with architect just to go over preliminary budget estimates. Are you interested? I
You
mean,
coming?
realistically.
Probably, unless you're sure you're not gonna vote to
No,
do anything.
no.
So I'd say it's just sort of a preliminary
Information.
fact providing thing that.
Yes.
no
He,
big
he,
deal.
he sent a rough estimate of, about 5 or 6 projects, but just on paper, we'll just sit down and go over this, you know, why is this cost this much, what are you thinking here, and that's all it is.
Yeah, we've been hitting some of those kind of meetings over at Cherokee.
It's about like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
If they're a little-
They've got a special meeting tonight on that type of thing, except.
Same architect.
They're opening bids and stuff, so we did send somebody.
Yeah, same architect.
They're a little farther along than we are.
Yeah. If we ever get set down and everything with him, we'll catch him,
Okay.
maybe, hopefully. All right, I'll get this with him here the next day or so, and I'll get with y'all, we'll get this scheduled, okay? Okay, that's all I had. Thank you for reminding me. I printed that off the other day and I left it.
I've been looking at it every night, so. I wanna know when, I wanna talk, find out.
Okay.
When is that set up to, or when are we talking about doing that?
I'll get with him tomorrow.
I mean, because when we're talking about voting on it, you know,
Well, we're gonna have to get those numbers to where y'all are satisfied with the projects.
right,
And as a board, and if you are at that point, and the board feels comfortable with presenting that as a proposed bond issue to the voters, that's when you'll say, all right, call board meeting, you know, we're ready, and that's when it'll happen. Now, after this first meeting, if you wanna meet with him again, in a special meeting to discuss other ones, I might start putting that on there as an agenda item every time. So if you get to that point in those special meetings, that will always be on there as an agenda item. And if you don't get to that point in that meeting, you can always just skip item, table item number so-and-so, or skip item number so-and-so.
He's asking more about scheduling a vote though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's more, when were we talking about scheduling that, you know?
And then
'Cause
when's the next, is it
Well-
one summer or fall?
I don't know what those dates are off the top of my head. I'd have to go back through my email. Hang on. Let me look, see if I can get.
Yeah, so I know the next municipal one's April 7th, but I don't know if there's. I know municipalities can have a special one in June.
I think there was one kind of midsummer and then it's fall again.
Yeah.
Right there, yes.
That is small.
Well, okay, special. Resolution date, March 12th, no, have to do that tonight. Special action. Resolution date, April the 9th. For June the 9th. There's a resolution date by May 14th for a July the 14th. And a resolution date of June the 11th for August the 11th.
You can have one about in a month.
If you could have one, if you could have a resolution by April the 9th, you could have a June 9th election. But I would just about bet money, Mr. Martin can tell you whether or not he thinks I'm right or not. I can just about bet you that if you missed April the 9th, you're going to be limited to what? About 2 to 3 special elections a year? Aren't they going to think they're going to eliminate a lot of these dates?
I think it's still up in the air at the legislature.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If they pass that legislation, that'll take effect July 1.
Is there an emergency attached to it?
They attach emergency to almost everything.
No. And that one on one's OSSBA's fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, so that might be
Next
something
school
to
board elections.
consider.
Mm-hmm.
But that's April 9th. So, I mean, we're just talking about a couple of weeks.
So
So
that would be moving.
that would be moving. But before you say that that's not possible, though, that's the dates right there.
Would be a good time to have the boards up and stuff.
Yes,
And
let's see.
everybody be here come May.
It's gonna be
I just
really
had
good
that.
time to put them on for 15. Yeah.
Yeah, those OSSBA boards. Seems so fast.
So if you guys adjourn, I'd like to refresh board picture if I could. Since Shane's about to get famous, I really need you in the picture.
He needs to be front row center.
You don't have to have me in here today,
Just
do
take
you?
his picture. Put him off to the side.
Please stand behind everybody.
You have those dates.
I just saw the
I'm
bottom of
pretty
your
dirty.
shirt.
Yeah,
Shane,
Go stand behind
you
those
have
guys.
those dates.
okay,
Oh, boy.
okay. All right, I was just kinda
Alright.
curious, because I didn't know what we were talking about. There's a lot of things.
Oh, we have to adjourn, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh. Lot of signatures.
3 times, get that big stamp out.
Oh, gosh.
Here's the one I got.
We'll have to go get the
So we need to
Big
make a
Chief
motion to
tablet.
adjourn.
Yes.
Make
Sorry.
a motion, we adjourn at 7:56.
Second.
Sorry, Joe.
Let's shoot her this way so I don't have Carrie in my picture.
Oh, she could add some life to it.
She's grown up since then.
Reed. Yes.
Herrera,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yep.
Jessup.
Yes.
You're just gonna get the board, right?
Yeah.